All right, we need to just cut the shit right now. Rebecca Hall, please, please, please give her an Oscar. Okay, let's review Resurrection. Resurrection stars Rebecca Hall, Tim Roth, and is directed by Andrew Siemens. What's up, guys? Time for a brand new 2022 review. Resurrection. Boy, isn't it nice when a movie like this comes along that just completely floors you. You know, after The Night House, I knew that I was going to keep a close eye on Rebecca Hall. This is just such a phenomenal actress. You know, you can easily separate her from pretty much every other actor working today. She's just that level of talent. And I wanted to put that out there right out the gate, okay? So anyway, let's get into this review for Resurrection. First off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Rebecca Hall plays Margaret. She is our title character. Really, you spend a good portion of the beginning of this movie just, I guess, kind of a bird's eye view, kind of a fly on the wall of Margaret's life in the present day. And you can tell that she's a very hard person. She has kind of an obsessive personality. You know, even like in terms of like exercising, she's constantly running. She's always wanting to be in control. You know, she's a hard person. She's not perfect, sleeping with subordinates who are married. You know, this is a character that right away, before a word even comes out of her mouth, you can already see the layers, you know? And that's just the talent of, you know, a director like Andrew Siemens. Just planting these little clues to this character along the way without her even having to say much. You know, that's great directing. But really, the core of this story is there is this past relationship that she had with Tim Roth 22 years ago. And it was a very controlling, abusive relationship. A child was born.
I'm the only one that can see you. The only person that really knows who you are.
And let's just say what happened with that relationship and with that child ultimately resulted in the current state of Margaret's well-being. She's really got some issues. She's messed up in the head. And this is about trauma. This is about the effects of trauma and how it can, you know, have these lasting, lingering effects even 22 years later. It never goes away. And to me, this is one of those types of films. As with the like subconscious nature of, you know, these lasting psychological effects of this character, of course, the story itself is going to have kind of a subconscious nature. There's going to be some strong metaphors, especially once you get to the last half of the movie. Just seeing how this character descends into madness, and it takes a strong actor to be able to handle a role like this. You're going to notice that pretty early on in this movie. Really, the first thing I want to talk about is Rebecca Hall and her performance in this movie. Easily the best performance I've seen of this year so far. I even said this on my Night House review. She just has this like way of handling performances with nuance, not necessarily going the route that you would expect. Pulling back, I guess, and not overselling it. And that's what's so great about her performances. You can tell that she dives deep into any character that she plays, and she probably has at least, you know, 5 different performances in mind of how she can convey a message. And she always chooses the best way, and oftentimes the way that you wouldn't expect. And so it leaves just this lasting impression that kind of leaves a part of you on the floor after you watch the movie. She's that effective of an actress. Now, there is a key scene in this movie, a monologue, and it's important for a couple of reasons. One, just because it tells her past. You know, there's this character, Gwen, and she's young, and I think Margaret is reminded of her own past with the character of Gwen, because Gwen's telling her about this abusive relationship that she's having at the time. So I think Margaret latches onto her, you know, tries to mentor her and take her under her wing, not excessively, because this is really Margaret's story and she's got a lot to deal with. So But she is a key character in the movie. She's placed throughout the story at integral moments. But, you know, I think the second time that she enters the frame, there is this monologue, and the camera literally stays on Rebecca Hall for what feels like 5 minutes. She just gives this jaw-dropping performance, telling, you know, this story of her past and how traumatic it was for her. And so you can really see, I guess, the layers in that performance. You know, not an easy thing to do. Plus, you got to memorize all that stuff. But man, she just makes it seem effortless. This scene was so well acted and really directed that after I finished the movie, I literally went back just to watch that scene again. And I was thinking, if she doesn't get a nomination for this movie, then I don't know. I was literally drawing comparisons to like The Machinist with Christian Bale. And if you look at the frail condition of Rebecca Hall in this movie, you know, you can tell she definitely lost some weight. She dived into this role, making herself look quite unhealthy, you know, and just really immersing herself into the character. And I appreciated that. And plus, she has a very strained relationship with her daughter, Abby. You know, Abby is, you know, she's fed up with her. She's had to deal with her mother for so long that she can't, you know, it doesn't feel safe anymore. She feels like she needs to get away from her, but you can still tell that she's concerned about her mother. She loves her mother. But at a point, it feels like there's no helping her. Now let's talk about Tim Roth, who plays David, the guy that she was in a relationship with, you know, 22 years ago. He's a very important character in this movie. He has such a hold over her. And, you know, there's a lot of men like this that are very controlling. And he takes it a step further and has these, what are called kindnesses. If she gives him a kindness, then he will reward her. You know, this is behavior that is very dangerous in a relationship. Just really the worst type of human being. And, you know, it can have like lasting effects on a person like this. And so I think when he comes back into the frame, that's when all this is set into motion and she starts really descending. But Tim Roth does an amazing job in the role as well. And he's not even in the movie as much as you would think. And I think when he does enter the frame, he is a big question mark. There's going to be times in this movie where you start asking yourself, is he real? Is he not real? You know, this movie definitely has an ambiguous nature to it because of the subject matter. And really, you know, the child that she lost 22 years ago. This is one of those movies that you're definitely going to scratch your head in the last act. And really at key moments throughout the movie, because they do present David and his, I guess, intricacy, which I don't want to spoil anything. I definitely want you guys to go into this and kind of be surprised, even though it's going to present itself pretty early on. One of the key moments in this movie that will make you say, oh, okay, they're going for more of a metaphorical instead of a literal type of thing. And I'll say, even the last act, it's going to turn a lot of people off. It's just very, very strange. And there's been a lot of movies like this, you know, with an ambiguous nature. And I like that because it forces the viewer to kind of form their own opinion on the movie and what it all means in the end. And I think all the pieces are set up there for you to kind of form your own conclusion. But I like that, you know, it was pretty crazy and pretty unpredictable in the end. And I don't even know if I necessarily like the ending of this movie. It just left me scratching my head big time, like, whoa, okay. But it's one of those movies that's definitely going to stay with you. It's so memorable and I think requires repeat viewings because you'll probably get, you know, something out of this movie every time you watch it. Kind of like Excision, you know, which is a movie that many of you probably have never even heard of. But that's another movie that, you know, the ending is like, whoa. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a high purchase worthy, for sure. Resurrection. Please check this movie out. If anything, for the phenomenal performance of Rebecca Hall. So, have you seen Resurrection? Let me know down in the comments. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we'll do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.